Alright, I'm mad. I'm mad. Now, before I carry on, just want to say I'm not mad at the hospitals. I'm not mad at the nurses or the doctors. I'm mad at whoever controls it all. I'm mad at the person who decides how much money they get. I'm mad at the whole situation. Now, some of you may know my mother recently got taken in the hospital. She's actually still there, bless her soul. And the whole situation just brought to light how hospitals are. Nurses, bless their hearts. Running around understaffed. I saw nurses arguing with each other about who's going to take a break. I don't mean arguing that they wanted a break. They were arguing that the other person needs it more than them, so they should go. The nurses were just running around flat out. My mother got put on a bed in a corridor all day, all night, because there weren't enough room. So we got not enough room and we got not enough nurses. Now, I've been to A&E before, and you know you can wait a long time to be seen. But they knew something was wrong with my mother, and they dealt with it as quick as they could. And after assessing her and realising that she had delirium, they literally just had to put her on a bed in a corridor with the antibiotics waiting for them to kick in. But if it weren't for me and my family staying by her side, things would have got a lot worse. As I said, there weren't enough nurses. There was one nurse who roamed the corridors. That was her job. She had about 12 patients, and she was meant to walk around individually going to each patient, one after the other. And what she would do is she'd go to one patient and then the next and go round in circles. But those 12 patients would take about 2 hours. So when I needed something and I could see she weren't far away, I would wait patiently. What would happen, because they were so low staffed, is she would keep getting pulled into other places to deal with other problems. An emergency would come through. Of course, she's got to go. And again, I'm not moaning at these individuals. Not at all. I felt sorry for them. It's stressful and horrible to watch. But I had to sort out her IV. I was told quite early on she had to be on IV. And that doctor even said to me, make sure you keep on at the nurses until she gets it. And yes, I had to. Not because I didn't want to do it, but probably because every time they were going to do it, something more important come up that they had to deal with there and then. My mum's alive. And probably without the IV and the antibiotics, she still would be. But there's only so long these things can go without being done. But anyway, after making sure it got done, we then have another problem, which I have to sort out, which I have to go get the attention of somebody and make sure it's done. And if I or my family weren't there, these things would have just been left. And she is still in hospital because some of these issues that were left have caused bigger issues. She was only in that corridor for 2 days, and now she's got stage 4 pressure sores. And with her other problems like diabetes, that can be very, very serious. And then you got another issue. She's got a broken arm, but yet the nurses don't all know the information. And I'm guessing that's not through the lack of they don't care. It's more that they're so rushed off their feet. They're just trying to get you done so they can get to the next person. But anyway, they rolled her onto her broken arm without knowing it was broken. And bear in mind, she's delirious. She doesn't even know her arm's broken at this point. The first day we was there, this doctor come up to me and he was talking quite fast and I asked him to slow down. Turned out his shift finished in 5 minutes and that's why he was talking so fast. But I did make him slow down to explain to me everything that needs to be done. And he went through a lot more than we knew was wrong. But all the way through this conversation, he just kept saying to me, you need to keep on top of the nurses to make sure these things get done. That shouldn't be my responsibility. And now my mother, yes, she's good. No delirium, no infection. Yes, still broken arm, broken jaw, got the bed sore, and a few other bits and bobs, but, none of my business to keep sharing with you. And she'll probably be in there for a bit longer because it takes 2 days for a certain department to come and see her to tell her that they'll do something, probably in a few days. And then the next department, the same thing. And for something like this, it can take weeks to get sorted. And during those weeks, because you're there, other issues can arise. And I'm now terrified to ever be in hospital. And I'm putting that purely down to funding and probably the fact that the nurses didn't get the pay rises. Not sure if that led to a shortage of them, but I'm guessing it did. Why would anyone want to be training for a profession that they know they're never going to get any extra financial benefit for? This doctor finished at 3 o'clock. Why didn't then another doctor come on shift? Do they not have it? Are they not paying for it? I don't know. And bear in mind, a year ago my mother went into hospital, the corridors were full and we got put in some eye examination room. Now, I really, really don't want this to sound like I'm off the hospital or the staff, because I 100% know it is none of their faults. Even the grumpy ones are probably just grumpy because they're sick of it also. But even those grumpy ones, when I said there was a problem, they helped and they were happy to do so. We all know there's a problem with the system, and I'm grateful for our NHS and the healthcare we get from it. And although this service is free, and by free I mean it's funded by the tax that comes out of people's wages, but is less of that money now going to our hospitals? Or is it just costing a lot more that the same amount of money isn't going far enough? And if that's the case, maybe something needs to be done about it. But I don't expect something to be done about it. I saw the other day Mark Zuckerberg had broke his leg, and I thought, I bet he had that sorted out within 24 hours. He's got money. If I had money, same thing. Yet, if I went to hospital with a broken leg, you know, we're probably looking at a week before I get out. I don't know how it works. I've never had a broken leg. Maybe a bad example. But what I mean is it wouldn't be dealt with as quickly or as efficiently. And my point, I expect the same with MPs, our government, you know, those that have got the money behind them, that they're in these powerful positions, when they've got these issues, can get them dealt with a lot easier than we. Meaning they won't have to experience what we have to go through and never feel like anything needs changing. And I'm sure on paper it looks like our hospitals are doing a great job, which they are, but not as good as they could be doing with the correct funding and the correct pay for the staff. 99% of the jobs that have to be done in that hospital I couldn't do. No good around needles, no good around blood. I'd get too emotionally attached to old people and babies, and I'd probably lose my rag with the people that I experienced at that hospital. People that were angry. There was a bloke in the bed in the corridor behind my mum saying they've literally just left me out here to die. In my opinion, that wasn't the case. I think because he was so loud and vocal, they could hear from a distance he was fine. Whereas the quiet one who hasn't woken up in 12 hours, that person needs attention now. And this is all my opinion, by the way. And you're welcome to have your opinion. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine, you know. Educate me. Let me know why I'm wrong. But yeah, it's been a week. But at the end of the day, nobody likes to know a loved one is in pain and in hospital. Just it really does get to you. You know, especially your mother. You know, your mum. You know, that's the woman who raises you. But yeah, been a hard week. Even when I've not been at the hospital, I haven't really been in the mood to make content. I just feel angry and sad, you know. And then on top of everything else I've got going on at the moment, those who follow know what I'm on about. You know, I just really, really need a win, and so does my mother. So when she gets out, I'll make sure she can get hers. And yeah, and maybe one day I'll be able to be in some position of power where I can you know, have a problem like this and actually do something to make a change, rather than just make a video for you guys to listen to me moaning about. Maybe one day, hey. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, and as always, Hunter!